Hello everyone, and welcome to my introduction to sound design. So what is sound design? Sound design is basically the process of manipulating audio to produce a specific sound. This can be done in all mediums, but is most known in the film and game realms. The most well-known example is the sound design used in the Star Wars movies. The laser gun, for instance, was basically a slinky hung from a soundboard and struck with a mallet. This was recorded at the top of the slinky. I'll be using a video of a dinosaur fight for this example. I will take the sounds out of it and replace them with my own. It will be in the style of a preview or commercial for a television show. Scene 1 just involves a heavy dinosaur walking towards the camera. I will be designing the sound of the footsteps, keeping in mind the weight of the creature, as well as the substrate he is walking on. There will be pan and volume automation, as well as a combination of EQ, filtering, and compression to achieve just the right sound. I also created a desert ambience with wind. These are the sounds I will be combining together to create the footsteps. I needed to make sure there was enough weight, so I made the footsteps pretty boomy. I also used 3 sand wedge loops to get falling sand. I cut out the impact and you're left with only the sand falling. The hits are in order from left to right. The sounds I use for the dinosaurs varies quite a bit. In the first scene, he is just walking, breathing, and grunting. I used long clips of a lion and a tiger and cut out the sounds as I needed them. Here are 2 examples. Here is the first scene put together without the music. Scene 2 starts with a prey dinosaur munching on some shrubs. On top of the desert wind, I layered some cicadas that may be living in and around the bushes. The sound of the dinosaur eating was created by cutting up the sound of a lion eating. Here's what it sounds like. I needed to create a sound for the club dinosaur. The bellow he lets out when he sees the big dinosaur was formed by combining the cries of a seal and a walrus. The tail sounds in the first and second scene were basically a cut-up loop of many different swishes. I then time stretched them to make them a little longer. You can hear the digital artifacts that can be created if you aren't careful. They're pretty well masked in the clip though. Here is the second scene put together without the music. In the third scene, the big dinosaur has noticed the smaller dinosaur, sniffs, and then lets out a massive roar. I essentially combined 2 different sounds, an elephant and a lion roar. Using a combination of EQ, compression, time stretch, and pitch shifting, I made 7 different clips using these 2 sounds and created a pretty realistic roar. Here are 3 of them. As the big dinosaur approaches, I use simple lion and tiger sounds. The small dinosaur's bellow uses a seal bellow. I automated the volume to turn down as the big guy moved away from the camera. Here is the third scene put together without the music. In the final scene, the action heats up. There is some close fighting as well as some farther away. I designed the sounds with the idea in mind of having music playing during the clip for dramatic effect. I started paying less attention to detail, instead letting the crescendo of the music carry the action. In the first part of this scene, we have close quarter combat, along with the footsteps and tail swooshes. I used an elephant seal growl, a filtered and compressed impact, and a human fight scuffle. For the last part of this scene, I used the same single impact 2 more times as well as the scuffle. I needed to create a realistic sound for when the big dinosaur was being pushed back in the sand. For this, I combined the sound of sand being poured from a bucket with regular human footsteps. For the body fall at the end, I actually combined a new impact with the big footstep combination I've been using all along. I finished with a tiger roar and a seal walrus bellow that I had used earlier. Here is the final scene put together without music. Now it's time to put everything together with the music.